Hey, this is Coach Adrian, and in this video I'm going to show you how to lunge correctly. Now, lunge is a fantastic exercise for the lower body. Great way of toning, shaping, building strength and endurance in our legs, but also in our glutes as well. Those big, powerful muscles in our buttocks, our backside. So they're a great lower body exercise. But when we lunge, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of movement in the ankles, the knees, the hips. So there's a lot going on. So it's a really comprehensive exercise to do. That's why it's a good exercise to bring in. And like I said, it's a fantastic toning and shaping exercise for the lower body. But because there's so much going on with it, it's really important that we get the basics right, okay? And what we're going to be looking at is just a normal body weight lunge. Now, there are a few variations on the lunge. So in this video, I'm going to show you your normal forward and reverse lunge and a couple of little options on those. So whenever we get into that lunge position, I want you to think about your base first. For the lunge, it's going to be the feet. So what I want you to think about is bringing your feet to hip width apart. So we're not too narrow. Going narrow is going to really compromise your balance, and I'll show you why in a moment. We don't want to go too wide, okay? We're not going too wide. It's going to be really difficult to lunge from this position, okay? So feet underneath the hips, underneath the shoulders. We're in a nice position. This is a good position to start off with. Then when we lunge forward, it's important that we keep our feet hip width apart. So if you watch here for the moment, I'm just going to step my foot forward. As I do, you can see here by the placement of my feet are still hip width apart. Now this is going to really help with your balance, okay? And this is crucial when we get into our lunge position. As soon as your balance gets challenged, we're going to start wobbling around. Now you're going to be wobbling anyway when we lunge. It is a challenging exercise, but we want to make sure we've got our base in the best position so we can help that balance, okay? So feet are hip width apart. When I step forward, still hip width apart. Step back, see that position, still hip width apart. When I step forward here on the other leg, exactly the same. So when I said earlier about the balance, start with your feet together, okay? This is going to compromise the balance straight away when we start moving, okay? It's really tough. But I'm going to show you one of the common mistakes that people do. When they lunge, as they step forward, they actually step over. And you can see where my foot is. So if I just exaggerate it slightly, and I've moved it slightly over, you can see now my rear foot is completely hidden from view. As soon as I lunge here, my balance is going to be compromised straight away. Okay, now I like to think I've got pretty good balance when I'm doing certain exercise. It's something that I do work on, and I do use lunges in my training, so that helps. But straight away, my balance is being challenged. Now you add in the element of a weight, so it could be dumbbells here, could be here, kettlebell across the chest, or even a bar onto your shoulders. Now as soon as you add that extra element of weight in, that's going to be hugely challenging to hold this position so that you're not fighting to hold here. And you see my foot movement, comes out, back into that hip width apart. So you can see that rear leg now. So as soon as I add in that extra element of weight, wherever those weights are, I'm going to have a stronger base, going to have much more chance of being able to hold that posture. Adjust that foot back over, and straight away, now I'm not exaggerating this motion, but straight away, I'm trying to hold, and I'm having to challenge to hold that position. So when we think about the lunge, think about the base, get the feet right, and look, step straight ahead to that hip width apart position each time. So whether you're alternating legs, whether you're stepping and you're going into your lunge pulse, still got that position, okay? So I'm going to show you from the side. Body's nice and tall, so always keeping the chest up, head up. This way we're engaging around your midsection, so your core's having to work hard. That's the glutes as well, part of the core. And then we step forward. My feet are nice and hip width apart. The next part I want you to look at is your knee position here. Okay, so this is the front and rear knee. What I want you to do when you lunge is focus on keeping that front knee directly over the top of your front ankle, and your rear knee is going to come underneath the hip here. So your lunge position here, 90-degree angle at the lowest point on both knees. Okay, so that's approximately where I am now. So your thigh is almost parallel to the floor. You see that position? So there we are, chest is up, head is up, and I look ahead. If I drop my head, my body's going to come forward. So like I said, I want to engage around this midsection. I've got that 90-degree position in my legs. I step back, and if you're alternating lunges, you're going to step and alternate. So you're going to change from one leg to the other. So this is your forward lunge. But you see my position each time, holding that 90-degree angle, And that's as far as I want to go down. Don't need to go down any deeper. It's going to be hard enough on the legs. We know the lunge is a great exercise. Like I said, really good for the thighs, great for toning and shaping our lower body. So we're looking at feet hip width apart, coming into that 90-degree angle at the knees as we come. And then, like I said, really focus on where your head is. So if your head tips forwards, there's a good chance your shoulders are going to come forward and we're going to be leaning a little bit. So what we're now going to be doing is put a little bit of pressure onto the spine and more pressure onto the neck. So we always try and keep the head up. And like I said, when you lunge, when we go from marshalling the bodyweight lunge, that's when you think about adding in the weights. And like I said, it could be dumbbells, kettlebells, or a barbell coming onto your back. So it's really important that we get the basics right and we just go bodyweight first. So this is going to be your forward lunge, your traditional forward lunge. And as you can see, when I lunge, I actually like to curl the opposite hand to the shoulder. I actually find this really helps with my balance. It's just something I teach. It just sort of comes a bit more, I don't know if it's because I'm a runner, it just comes a little bit more natural for me. So if I step my right leg forward, it's my left arm, and obviously vice versa. Now you can also lunge with your arms out to the side. You can keep them down by your side, and you can lunge with your arms in the air, so your body is nice and long and really engaged. It's a great way of actually increasing the work you put through your core. So the reverse lunge, so I'm going to step forward slightly and I'm going to show you. So basically, it's a back lunge. We just step back, feet hip width apart. I step back into that lunge, come back up nice and tall, repeat on the other side. But you see my body position here when I step back, it's exactly the same. So the knee positions are the same, posture is nice and tall, head is up, and I'm sinking back into that reverse lunge. So it's the same whether I'm going backwards, whether I'm going forwards, the position is going to be identical. So remember, the positions we're looking for, feet hip width apart, directly forward as you step. So we're not stepping over, and we definitely don't want to step out wider like that. There are variations of the lunge where we do pivot, but for the sake of this workout, this video, just go dead straight forward. And a good way to do this sometimes is if you're in a gym, sometimes you've got markings on the floor, you've got sort of lines on the floor that you can use. So one way to do it is plant your feet on one side of the marking and the foot on the other side. So when you step forward, you've still got 1 foot one side of the line, 1 foot the other side. So you know you're holding that position. Obviously, if you're in a gym or a class environment, you've got hopefully use of mirrors. Now, mirrors are not just there to make sure you look good, they're also there to make sure we can get our technique. Because sometimes we think we're in the right position, but actually just using the mirror enables us just to adjust, go, yeah, I've got my position, head is up, chest is up, and you can use that mirror to adjust. But if you want to practice at home, and this is the same with any exercise, if you think you're not quite right with the technique or you want to tweak it slightly, one of the things you can do is to use either your tablet, your mobile phone, set it up and actually record yourself, okay? And just do some of the movements that you're looking for. So with the lunge, I would go forward, as I've shown you in this video. I'd go forward, I would check my position, you could hold that position, and then I would also turn to the sides. Side view is really important. So as an instructor, when I'm teaching, obviously you're looking face on for people, and you're always looking for the head and the chest up, but you walk around to the side so you can get that side visual of people as well. Okay, so you're giving pointers from the front and the side when you teach, and you're constantly in motion to check those positions and tweak people where they need to be tweaked. Now the idea is obviously when we do any form of exercise, we obviously are looking to bring that risk of injury right down to as low as absolutely possible, but we'll also want the best out of that exercise for each person. Okay, and to do that, it's getting the technique right, sometimes slowing the pace right down, okay, is really, really crucial. We're in a busy world where everything is fast all the time, and we do a lot of HIIT workouts where we're working high intensity. Slow the pace right down, get the technique right, that is absolutely essential, and that way, when you do the exercise, we're really working where we should be working. We're getting the best bang for our buck for that movement. And that way the body is going to respond really, really well to that exercise as well. And obviously, like I said, we want to get the best exercise for your body, so we get the best results for your body in the time that you've got to train. So like I said, break it down. Foot position first, hip width apart, step forward, 90-degree angle in those knees when we drop into that lunge position, Chest is up, head is up, body weight here. Arm position will be down by your sides, even across your chest, out. And when you're really good, I love extending the arms high when we go into a lunge, because that little change there, and I mean they're high, so you've got your biceps by your ears, not here, they're up there. That little change with the arm position really engages the midsection. You get those core muscles working, and that's without even adding any weights in. So you don't have to think about, I must add weights in to get my legs working hard. This exercise here will help tone and shape your legs, whether you're alternating, whether we're holding. You can do a static hold lunge and a little pulse lunge where you do this little motion here, up and down. But the body position is the same in each variation. Stepping forward or stepping back into that reverse lunge. Okay, so I hope you really enjoyed it. Like I said, take your time, master the lunge. It is a fantastic exercise for the lower body. It's great for the backside. It's awesome for the legs. Builds up really good strength, really good endurance, but it is a balanced challenge as well. Now, adding balanced challenge exercise into your workout is really a good idea, okay? Really, really important. We know as we get older, our balance is compromised a little bit more. We're not maybe as good at holding balance as we were when we were younger, but it's important that we train our balance as we go through our gym workouts and things like that. We should be training it, especially if you play sports. Balance is absolutely key. So lunges is one of the fantastic exercises. Like I said, I do it all the time, put it into my classes all the time, and variations of. But the teaching is always the same. Get those positions right, okay? So I really hope you enjoyed that video. Have a little play around with your lunges, get your legs working hard. And yeah, I've got a little burn on in a couple of those positions, okay, but it's great because we know how good the lunge is. So anyway, I'm Coach Adrian. I'm going to sign off. I hope you enjoyed that video. Until next time, I shall see you soon.